Hey, back at the frat.
Yes.
So funny. I'm gonna make you host. Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, and then you can make the other two co-hosts when they hop on.
Oh, there's Katie.
Hey, let's see. More. Make host. Okay, awesome. So nobody has said for today, there's no one unexpected that is not showing up, but we'll see what ends up happening. But it was kind of a larger group today too, so you might just get more people anyway.
Looks like we already have one in the waiting room.
Yes, Patty. Saw her. Oh, it's not opening.
Just getting all of my dinner out of my teeth.
It's blurry enough anyway.
I had some pistachios for dessert, and I feel like that's kind of bright green.
Oh, yeah, that might show up. That's a nice healthy dessert though. Or was it pistachio ice cream?
It was pistachios.
Oh, good.
I love pistachios. They're a treat because
Yeah.
they're expensive.
Yeah, that's true. All right, I'm gonna hop off. Thanks, guys.
Okay, see ya.
Bye.
Did she tell you whether we were meeting afterwards on this link or on another one?
On the calendar, it says that there's no debrief.
Okay.
So I'm assuming we're not meeting after.
Should we text her real quick or?
We can text her and double check. Make sure that that's still the plan. Now I am trying to find the calendar in the files to make sure that I'm not wrong.
It's not in my personal calendar either, but I'm not ready to drive home.
How far away is it for you?
Like 4+ hours, depending on.
Yeah, that's a pain. I was in my car for 3 hours earlier and I was like, I'm going to go crazy.
That's how I feel too. I still feel like that. Oh, there's Lydia. Okay, I'll let her in.
Yay. The house manager is supposed to stop by my room to give me buzzcard access to the house, and he said that he'd do it closer to 5, and I really hope that means before 5.
Oh, goodness. Well, I hope you can at least get your introduction in.
Yeah, no, I will literally make him wait if I have to. Yeah, the calendar in Teams says no debrief, so.
I still feel like we should text her, though, because we've done it every other time.
Yeah. Do you want to text her or?
No, I don't. I will if I have to, though.
I can text her really quick.
Sorry, I'm gonna move to my desk whenever it starts. I just can only use I only have like 2 outlets in this room, so.
There's no desk in our room at PyCap, which is fun.
That's good. That's really good.
I think that speaks to the frat culture.
See, but like, I've been in rooms at other frats, and they have desks.
That is true.
But we just had 2 dressers and a mini fridge.
Fair enough. They got snacks. All right. Do we have anything different happening this time? I changed the speakers to be the ones for Biotech Infusion.
Thank you for that. I feel like it should be about the same, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything that we feel like we need to touch on this time, like from the 7 impact aims?
Yeah, I put one more in. It was, has this training increased your knowledge of the variety of jobs and education levels for life science? Good
Okay.
job. So I just thought that might be nice if we have the time or if we need the prompting, because we don't really have a lot of questions that speak to that, and it's one of the whole like parts, like for confidence we have like 2 surveys and like everyone talks about it in the focus groups, but for that one we haven't really even asked. So yeah.
As long as we're addressing all of the impact names, then I think we're good.
My hair is so triangular now.
I love it. It looks really good.
I'm hoping that it'll like
Like,
end up. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just that I have like one layer that's like thick and short, and then I have like a few other ones, but this top one's just kind of.
she's doing her thing.
Yeah, she's thinking.
We'll see how many people we get today. Hopefully it's more than 3.
I hope so too.
I think we got like a solid 3.5 last time.
That's true. I wasn't expecting the person who joined late to contribute as much as they did. So that was nice.
Oh, I was appreciative that she like did speak.
All right, I'm gonna move over to the desk. Oop, just realizing all of my doors are opened in the background.
I feel like my background is a little too personal, but we're in my room. I can't do anything else. So
Fine.
Too. I'm like, I wish I just had like a neutral.
I don't have a blank wall. I have like concert posters on every wall, and like concert posters are not something that's very professional looking. So like I don't
Yeah,
know.
but you like can't see that they're concert posters, you know?
Right.
Yeah. It's okay. Don't look. It'll be fine.
It just looks like you have like framed art or something.
Excuse me. Had a burp.
Okay, so I'm taking notes this time. Lydia's doing the chat, right?
Yep.
And Katie is
You're the moderator.
all the questions. No pistachios.
No, no pistachios.
We have 3.
All right. Christina, she's excited. Christina!
I think it's so funny when people join with like Zoom names that
Yeah, like that woman who is like bringer of useless knowledge or something. I was like, why didn't you change that for this?
good for her. She's confident.
Yeah,
She's confident in all her useless knowledge.
good for her. Good for her. These people have useless knowledge. Good for them.
Feel that. Really felt.
That is a lot of exclamation points. She must be excited.
Excited for this focus group.
Yeah.
Yay!
About life.
We love to see it. Please, more people show up.
Should we just wait until 5:01 to like let everybody in like we did before?
501 and then like give it another couple of minutes.
Yeah, that sounds good.
We got 4.
Oh, perfect. That's much better.
That's a net increase over yesterday, so I'll take it. I sent a text to the person subleasing my apartment instead of to Kristen.
Good. Okay, well, I'm gonna let these 4 people in.
Sounds good.
Unmute us. Hello, everyone.
My name is actually wrong. I didn't realize that would be my wife's name. Is that going to be anything weird throughout the whole thing?
No, but I think you could change it. I can rename you if you want.
Let's see if I can figure it out first.
All right. At least you realized before we got halfway through it, somebody called you Ashley.
There we go. No worries. I answered pretty much anything anyways.
All right, I think we're going to give it a minute or two, see if we get any more people join in a second late.
Do we need anything for this to write or anything like that?
No, we just want to hear your thoughts. you know.
Okay.
All right, well, I'll go ahead and get us started. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your days to come speak with us. So my name is Katie Marchese. I'm a 3rd year at Georgia Tech studying public policy and history, and I have the rest of my evaluation team with me here today.
I guess I'll go next. Hi, guys. My name is Hillary Dong. I'm also a 3rd year at Georgia Tech studying public policy and history, and I will be taking notes today.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lydia Wiederholt. I am also a 3rd year public policy major at Georgia Tech, and I will be moderating the chat today.
All right, thanks, guys. Thank you all so much for leaving your camera on. And so I would just like everyone to do introductions, say your name, organization or school district, what you teach, and then either the thing you are most looking forward to about June or the craziest thing that's happened in the last year.
I'm Patty Howell, and I teach at Baconton Community Charter School. The thing that I'm looking forward to the most is that I'm hoping the borders will open up to go to Germany, because that's where my son and my daughter-in-law and grandkids live.
Hey, my name is Britton Gant, and I currently teach 8th grade physical science at Barrow Arts and Sciences Academy. And in June, I am most looking forward to just having a little bit of time off, because the end of this year has been absolutely insane. And I've got a 1-year-old that I'm looking forward to spending a lot of time with.
All right, my name is Kristen Howell. I'm at West Jackson Middle School, and I teach 7th grade life science. I am really looking forward to the beach that I have got reserved on June 5th.
Okay. So today's purpose is to gain feedback on the Rural Teaching Training Initiative to determine if it's worthwhile and how we can make it the best it can be. So this is just an opportunity for you guys to expand on the feedback that you provided in the survey and address the program on the Biotech Infusion. I'm sorry, Christina, did you want to introduce yourself? I didn't know if we'd lost you for a second there.
I think you did lose me for a second. My connection went bad and I don't know why. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I'm Kristen Howell. I am at West Jackson Middle School. I teach 7th grade life science, and I am very looking forward to the beach house that I have reserved on June 5th.
Okay, I didn't know if Christina with the exclamation point wanted to introduce yourself or.
Can you hear me? I had to like dial in. Obviously, I'm in my car. I forgot I had to bring my child to swim. So here I am. So you guys can hear me?
Yes.
I heard nothing you said, so I'm assuming I'm just introducing myself. I'm Christina Thurler. I teach 8th grade physical science. I chose to do the DNA extraction lab if that was one of the things we were supposed to answer. And we have 1.5 days of school left, so I'm super excited.
Thank you so much. Okay, so we'll just hop back in. So some of the ground rules, this group will take about an hour. We won't go over that. We want to be respectful of y'all's time. As with any discussion, please allow a person to finish his or her thoughts or explanations. This session will be recorded, but it will only be available to the evaluation team, me, Hillary, and Lydia. And no one at the Biotech Institute will be able to access or see the recording. So everyone who is participating will not be identified to the Biotech Institute, staff, or master instructors. The information in this section will be aggregated by the 3 of us and then handed over to the bioed staff. Does anyone have any questions about procedures or ground rules? Okay, wonderful. So let's jump right in. How has Biotech Infusion affected your teaching? So this will include virtual training series, equipment and supply assistance, Google Drive for resources, master instructor support, and GroupMe.
So far, for me personally, I have not changed anything. I do plan on instituting some of these at the beginning of the year next year, but we were already pressed for time, and I was working with 2 other teachers within our 8th grade. So working with them to implement some of these things was not possible given the short time frame towards the end of this school year, but I am really looking forward to some of it next year, particularly whenever we come back to the electricity and magnetism, hopefully using electrophoresis and just a few more actual lab style techniques, working them into my classroom.
It's been helpful for my classroom to just have some new biotech equipment that the students get to use, because we do a huge amount of hands-on activities all the time anyway, but to have the pipettes and to have the syringes with the filters in them and that kind of thing that my students have not had an opportunity to use before, because I'm sure I would not be able to purchase them with the budgets that we have. That has really been just something different that the kids get to do, and we've all enjoyed it.
For my classroom, it actually was perfect timing for this training because I didn't really know what it was, and it just was like, hey, do you want to do this? And we had actually already planned to do some sort of biology preview because the biology class is next after ours. So the fact that the DNA extraction was like super perfect for what we were doing. And so right after we got done with training, I sent off for my materials and I got them all, and they came to me like super fast, and we did the DNA extraction lab like 2 weeks ago, and it was awesome. So I actually used the training that we had with that lab, used all the materials they sent, and the kids loved it. So we actually made Mother's Day cards with the DNA centrifuge tubes, and I had them draw their hand, even though they're 8th graders, and have their DNA and make a necklace of DNA and give it to their moms for Mother's Day. So it actually affected my class a lot already with the activity that I did. So yay.
That is the coolest idea. Good job on that one. I am getting ready to do I got the electrophoresis kit, and I will be doing it probably starting, I don't know, Thursday afternoon or Friday. We're testing right now. And so I got it like a week before testing started, and I couldn't actually implement the lab because we had to do all the reviews and the schedule's been really crazy. So you know how the testing thing goes. But the last few days of school, we are going to be doing, working on this lab. And I think it's going to be really perfect because it's going to bring together a lot of things. And I have had the kids practice using the pipettes one day when I just needed a little bit of a filler type of a thing. And I think that they were really impressed because, we talked about seeing these micro pipettes on the news with the COVID vaccine development. And they, I think that it really helps them to feel like they're using equipment and techniques that they would use in the workforce. And I told them that was like a real skill, because if you're working in that field, your fingers can get really tired and you have to be precise and everything. So I think it was great for me.
All right, thank you guys so much. What are your thoughts on the essential skills and competencies, which are lab safety, aseptic technique, pipetting, solution dilutions, chromatography, gel electrophoresis, and DNA extraction, which were covered in the training?
I felt like the training as far as safety was very thorough, and as far as aseptic technique, I'm 53. So however old I was when I went to college, just figure out how many years, 20, 30, however many years. So it's been a very long time since, I've done those kind of things, and I have developed a lot of sloppy habits. And when it comes to labs, I've kind of got that like old teacher thing going on where it's like, you can be precise with this, but just dump whatever you want in there of that. And so it really helped me to just, say, hey, I've got to do a little bit better on some of these things.
For me, I thought that they did a really good job with us teaching them about the safety and what we needed to do. It didn't really, change the way I ran my classroom because we do a lot of labs in physical science. So we're pretty attuned to, the safety guidelines. But I really like that they put it all in there and let us know what we needed to be safe about, what was, could be an error, what might mess up. And especially with like the heating up of the gel electrophoresis, like she was really good about like what she does to keep the students safe. And I really appreciated that part.
I appreciate getting a kind of a refresher course of all of this. I was recently out of college and I got my original degree in biology, so I did get to play with a lot of these styles, but it had been a good 6 or 7 years since I'd really worked with any of them. So it was really nice to get a refresher on all of it.
It was nice to get a refresher, and it was nice as we did as each technique and each experiment, like he said, just to have a review so that when we're doing it correctly and, not messing ourselves up or not potentially messing our students up.
Absolutely. So I know we just touched on this a little bit as far as incorporating or planning to incorporate any of these skills, but have any of you guys either started incorporating these skills that were listed above or plan to after this training?
Any of those that apply to our class, we already apply the safety techniques to all of them. Aseptic technique is not something that we cover in 7th grade. We don't really use anything at all that would require that. But we do use sometimes the chromatography, the electrophoresis, the extraction, and the pipetting especially. That's one, at least for the students, that I have to remind them of more because they'll mix up things. So.
I did like the safety training at the beginning, and the lab that they had where you had to go into the room and find things. So, I might try to incorporate something like that if I have some virtual students again. I do like to do a real hands-on safety unit in the beginning. Also, I will be incorporating a lot of the whatever I can do to incorporate the pipettes, because I think that will be helpful to them, and the calculations that would go along with it.
And to kind of say the same thing Patty said, I really liked that virtual training at the beginning that we did. I think that I will probably use that with my middle school students because they do have to go through virtually and click all the stuff. And like, she said, we do a hands-on one, but I think it's a good training, especially with things that we don't have in my classroom, to expose them to what they might see in high school.
Yeah, I like the virtual one too, where you had to click on the things that were safety issues.
I was still muted. Do you already, or do you plan to implement a lab from the training, and why or why not?
I definitely plan on implementing gel electrophoresis whenever it comes to the electricity unit, especially in physical science, that is. I would love to work the chromatography in, because chromatography, I feel like it can go a lot into how things are kind of broken apart, maybe working into physical and chemical changes. I'm still working on that one through my own head, but I really do want to work the chromatography in as well, because those were some of the more striking, more visual ones that you could see, and I feel like those would be perfect for middle schoolers.
I'm going to be working with chromatography tomorrow to extract pigments from leaves using the chromatography paper as well as the set packs. It works out perfectly right now, simply because we've been finishing studying biomes. We've got the temperate deciduous forest, so we can talk about the pigmentation in the leaves and how it changes in the fall, as well as at the end of the school year, teachers know that the schedules are crazy. And so our schedule right now is that we have no planning period, and we have the students for about an hour and a half each class period every single day. So luckily, this is going to be a nice extended lab that I can do. They're going to be very interested in it, when what they're kind of expecting is just to sit around and watch movies, but that's not going to happen. So it's high interest. It's very hands-on. So I'm really looking forward to doing it tomorrow.
I'm getting ready to do my electrophoresis as soon as I can get them after they have completed the test. They take their test tomorrow, and whenever I have them, they're going to be doing that.
It's great to hear about what you guys are incorporating from the training. I was wondering if you guys would like to comment any on how your students have responded to these new labs and how they've been once they've been implemented, for those of you that have.
I did the biology, the DNA extraction one. Can you hear me? I pushed a button. Okay, good. Yes. It made it go away for a second. I did the DNA extraction one, and the kids really, really enjoyed it, more than I thought that they were going to. Some of them didn't do it. Well, it could have been me, but at the end, I realized that at the store, there was a long row of shampoo, and there happened to be a guest conditioner at the very back. And I thought that some of the students had done it wrong, but then at the end, when I looked at the bottles, 2 of them were conditioner. So I told them later, but the ones that it didn't work were really sad about it, because they really wanted to get their DNA. And so they were really excited about the lab. And I'd like to incorporate the electrophoresis one next year, because I teach physical science too, with the electricity and magnetism one. And I think that they would be really excited about that. But it went really well. I used all the materials that we were given, and I really enjoyed doing it. And I think we'll do it year after year.
I know that my students are excited about what we're planning for tomorrow because I've described it to them, but also not as a big lab, but just as a thing that I let them do. We did the pipetting technique and they just really enjoyed using it. We really just made art with it.
All right, thank you. Did the training introduce you to any equipment that you didn't consider using in your class before the training? This can be small, such as disposable pipettes, microcentrifuges, well plates, or larger items like a digital scale or a water bath, an incubator, etc.
I just didn't think.
You can go.
Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you. I just didn't think that I would have access to do electrophoresis, on the cheap. I thought I would have to, buy the really expensive equipment. So yes, it did.
I had personally never heard of stem packs. So whenever it comes to the column chromatography, that's a pretty cool way. The only way I've ever done it is using basically like a coffee filter and water with marker. So it was one of those things that it was okay, but using this contraption that you can see the colors moving through it, and you use the well plates and you get the different colored waters, that was really cool for me, and I'm assuming my students would love doing that as well.
I'm excited about using the set packs too. And again, I know I keep saying the micropipettes, but it's not something our school could afford to buy. So we really have enjoyed having access to those.
Yeah, same for me. A lot of the labs I thought were really, really cool, and we might do them as like extension, like at the end of the year. But the way that she set up some of the stuff for super cheap, I didn't realize. I think somebody else said that as well, that we could do the stuff set it up that way. And so I think in the future we will use the methods that we learned to be able to do it on a grand scale of 300 students instead of having to like demo it because I thought it was so expensive.
All right, thanks. Have any of you had a wow moment during training and or during implementation?
I kind of already said mine about how the students really, really, really enjoyed extracting their DNA. And I was actually kind of sad because I did email the high school biology teachers, and they don't do that lab. They don't extract DNA from plants or themselves or whatever, which was kind of sad for me. But the kids, I was really surprised how much they enjoyed it. I thought they were going to like it just as much as the other labs that we do, because we pretty much do like 2 to 3 labs every week in our class. And so I thought they would kind of like it just as much, but they just got really excited about it. And I think it was just because it's, it's their DNA. It's not just like a kit that they're using.
I think my wow moment was the amount of math practice that I could include just using the pipettes.
I think my wow moment was the build your own electrophoresis kit, because I didn't realize you could just build one out of batteries and everything. The last time I really ran a gel was in college, honestly, and it was using the big setups that they had in the DNA lab. So it was pretty cool that I could just make one on my kitchen counter that my students could make too.
I wanted to say the same thing as Kristen there. And also my wow moment, the real one that sparked in my brain was actually a little bit smaller than that. It's that I've never realized that you could connect 9-volt batteries together. Like that's the whole point of putting them in the end. And it was such a small thing, but when I realized that, I was like, oh wow, that's actually really cool.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. Actually texted my sister about it at that moment. I'm like, did you know you could stick 9-volt batteries together and make more power? No idea.
All right. Have you made any plans to take your students on a field trip or bring a professional into your classroom as a result of the training experience? And if so, do you think you will use any of the guest speaker recordings in your classroom?
I was actually really excited about the guy from the water treatment plant because we, do a lot with that sort of thing at the end of the year. And I sent him an email and he never emailed me back. I tried like a bunch of different variations of his email, like, hey, we'd love to have you come talk. And the other guest speakers, I didn't email them because he was kind of number one on my list. But at our school, we really love to have guest speakers come in. We have, before this year, really, we had like 4 or 5 that would come in, one for really each unit. And so I was kind of excited about having those connections. But like I said, I was kind of sad that he never emailed me back. So I'll probably reach out to some of the other ones that were maybe second or third on my list that kind of like less, like it's not like they were as less awesome. They just didn't connect as easily as the guy from the water treatment plant.
I agree. I was really interested in the water treatment plant as well. He did a good job showing us all their facilities. And I was especially interested in their work study program they mentioned, because our high school has got a pretty big work study program established, and was hoping that I could put him in touch with our work study person so that maybe we could get somebody out there, because we're not far from that location at all.
I too was interested in the water guy. He that was, I think, my favorite. I'd like to incorporate at least a couple of his videos.
Okay. What has this training increased your knowledge of the variety in jobs and education levels for life science careers?
I don't think it's changed what I know about that subject.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of try to stay current on those jobs, and I might look, being 100% honest, around like March and April every year, I might be looking for other jobs. Just because at the end of the year, you're always like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I kind of stay kind of current just because you get burnt out sometimes. But I think I pretty much, especially from college, they do a really good job about having a lot of information about what you can do with life science careers. And I teach middle school too, so I'm not as much as the high school bound students, but I try to stay current in the jobs just to let kids know.
I currently do not do enough, I think, with the type of jobs that are available. I do try to include in everything we do some different job options, but I think that I could be a lot better with that, and I think that this will help me with that.
I'm with Patty. I'd like to mention the jobs that are available in the specific fields and the units that we're learning, but working with 8th graders is not generally one of my priorities, because I feel like they have a few more years to figure that out, but it should be something that I focus on more.
All right, thank you guys. Incorporation of industry speakers into the training had a few purposes. So it was to introduce teachers to some of the life science industries within Georgia, which we just touched on, to convey the relevancy of classroom curriculum to internship and career potential, to serve as a platform for introductions as the start towards a relationship between educators and industry, and for industry to directly communicate to teachers what needs are in regards to skills for the job. So do you guys feel that these goals were reached? And if so, which goals? And if you do not feel they were reached, what suggestions do you have to help us reach those goals?
I felt that they were reached.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like they were reached too. That was like a lot of words that you said at the end of the day. And we shot off bottle rockets all day long outside in the sun, so I'm like real tired. But I really enjoyed hearing the speakers. I enjoyed also like having a choice, like who to pick between. I think each one had an option. I don't remember. But I really enjoyed hearing them talk. They were very interesting. They all were really super knowledgeable, and I really liked the information they had to share. And I think that it kind of made me disappointed that I didn't teach high school, because I was like, yes, I can get like so many kids into this stuff, but middle schoolers, they're not really at that point yet. But I think if I taught 11th or 12th grade science, I would be utilizing them a whole lot more, and connecting my class to those types of careers, so the kids that are actually thinking about it in 11th and 12th grade instead of like 8th graders when they're like, they don't know what they're doing.
I also think that all of those purposes were reached. I remember them hitting at least on all 4 of them.
I know we mentioned the water treatment guy a couple of times, but I think that he did the best job of reaching those goals, especially the very varied ways that students can go into that industry. It wasn't only through like particular science or that kind of thing. He mentioned all the different ways that you could be qualified to work in that industry, and I appreciated that.
Okay, thanks guys. Has the material and or equipment you received for the Georgia Institute so far been helpful? And if not, what are your suggestions to improve them?
Yes.
Everything I received was awesome. It was like packaged super nicely. They got it to me super quick, especially for the lab. The quantities were perfect. The stuff that they sent me for the training was awesome. I was like so excited when I got it in the mail. It was like Christmas, because all of us, I think, are super nerds with this. That's why we took the training. And I have recommended this training to multiple of my colleagues since then as well, just because they have done such a good job with communicating and getting all the materials to us. And they're like quality materials too. They're not just like crap materials. So I think they did a great job with it.
So was the training worth your time? Why or why not?
I guess I'll talk first. Number one, yes, I really enjoyed learning about it. Just like I said, I love science. My major initially was biology, so I have my biology degree and my education degree. So all the stuff that we learned about, I was so excited about, and I was really glad that I could incorporate some into physical science. I thought it was 100% worth my time. I enjoyed it. The speakers were great. The trainers were great. I really loved, I forget her name, but the teacher who was teaching us all the stuff, like I want to be in her class every day, because she was hilarious. And I was like, I want to come observe you and just hang out with you. Can we be best friends? And then it was just super helpful. Like the organization of it was great. I know we had some like struggles on the very first day with technology, but that, that's fine. That happens. But everything was like super streamlined, super organized. They got us the materials afterwards. They were always on the ball answering questions. And even if they didn't offer, like the stipend was just like a bonus. Like I would have enjoyed it even without that. And I would have thought that it was worth my time even without the stipend.
I agree. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, Brenton.
That's all right. I feel like Christina covered pretty much all the bases really, really well, and I agree with what she said. I did enjoy the time working with it. The stipend was a bonus. The stuff they gave us was great. It was all very good.
I completely agree. Totally worth my time. I looked forward to it every week that I had it. I was excited that I was going to go home and turn on the Zoom and pull out all these science supplies and get to do cool things with them. I loved it.
I did too, and I loved it. I felt it was very worth my time. It also, I loved how they incorporated hands-on while they were, while we were virtual. I just felt like they did a very good job with that.
Yeah, actually, going on what Patty just said, I hadn't thought of that until just this moment. But this year, when we've had students who are in person and digital and hybrid and all those things, I really strived this year to try to find experiments and activities that were online that my virtual students could do. But this really showed me a way, if this happens again or if I have to continue with it next year, that I could send them supplies and have them do those experiments in their home. So I don't know if that was a goal of the thing, but pointing that out, that definitely gave me an idea for how I could do hands-on activities for the students at home while being virtual.
Okay, thanks guys. What are your thoughts on the use of GroupMe as a platform of support and biotech community building?
GroupMe's fine. I've used it for other things, and so it works.
We use it for school.
Go ahead, Patty.
I was just going to say, we use it for school, so it was nice to have both things on one platform.
Yeah, I use it a lot. I use it for my master's program in there, and then like a group message between my colleagues. So I use it a lot. I don't know how much like other people enjoy it. I've heard negative things about like, I don't know, just people who can't like handle the technology of it. But I thought it was fine. With it, I don't think I actually like looked at it though after the very first one with the pipettes. I think I put my pipette picture on there, but I didn't look back at it. So I probably need to like do that maybe. I don't know. Since there's like stuff on there I need to see.
I think it served its purpose. It was okay. It's not one of my favorites, but then again, I don't really have a favorite group messaging platform. So it did what it was supposed to do.
Okay. Did any of you feel that GroupMe helped you build a community among the teachers and the other participants in the program?
It was nice to be able to share ideas of how some people were doing the similar experiment to the one I'm planning on doing in my classroom tomorrow. A few people put their own examples on there of how they did it. So in that way, yes.
Sorry, I was waiting on you, Patty. Like I said, I guess I didn't really look back at it, so I didn't really use it that much, so no. But I think that if I had looked at it, it would have been nice to see everybody else talking in there. I was just like super busy this semester, so I didn't have time to really do anything else besides like the meet. But I kind of like stuff like I don't know, like Twitter and Instagram and stuff. I feel like I get more ideas from my colleagues off stuff like that just because it's like a snapshot picture of stuff. But that might just be because I'm like a millennial and I like that super like quick information and I don't know.
I think it did. I mean, I guess just a yes, but not really a good example why.
Okay, and similarly on that, what are your thoughts on the use of the Google Drive as a resource storage platform? And have any of you accessed resources through the Google Drive?
I like Google Drive fine. I think we all use it professionally. And so, yes, I've accessed the resources. I wonder what's going to happen when it disappears one day and we have to go on to the next thing, where all that's going to go. But for now, yes.
No, Google Drive cannot disappear. I like it too much. But I have accessed the resources a lot. I starred the folder, so it's like always on my starred list. I used the slideshow, not the exact slideshow that they posted, but I took pieces of it for when I taught the lesson for my kids. And I felt like the resources on there were super helpful, but not too like cluttered. Like they gave us just enough to give us all the information, but not too much. And like stuff like that can get super like bogged down and like a lot of resources in there. But I think they did a good job balancing, giving us enough to expand on our own, but not giving us enough. If that makes sense.
I like Google Drive, and yes, I really appreciate how the resources were there and I can access them easily, and I have accessed them.
I like how easy it is to go back and look through them and access them, although I will get to figure out how something other than Google Drive works soon, because our school district decided that Google is not safe enough and we're going to be switching over. So that'll be fun.
Is there anything that was not covered in this training that you had hoped would be covered?
I don't think so, because I wasn't exactly sure what to expect anyway.
Was there anything covered in the training that you were like, I already knew about this, this was unnecessary, waste of a few hours or anything like that?
No, I didn't feel like any of it was a waste.
Yeah, I agree with what she said. It was kind of given to me at the last minute, and so I didn't have any chance to like look at what they sent. I actually registered like 3 days late because that's when I was given the thing. I was like, please let me register. That sounds cool. And then so they just mailed me the stuff, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. So everything that they did was super cool. I knew how to pipette and I knew how to like do the labs from college, but I didn't know how to do them the way that they did them. And everything that we did was really interesting. None of the sessions, I was like, oh, this is a bore fest. Like, this was a waste of my 2 hours. Like, everything we learned was super creative, super interesting. And I wish I could use all of it in my class, but I will use the things that fit. So I'm super excited about it.
Okay, thanks. So this is our last question. What is your ideal professional development? So dream big, whether that be technical skills, mentoring, relationships with other teachers, or certificates, anything like that.
I think it would be pretty close to this one, only what I would change would be that we were able to visit actual labs where these techniques are being used, and then as well learn these kind of smaller, more classroom ways to do the experiments. But I know that just with the nature of 2020 and COVID, that's not a thing we could do this year. But I think to add visits to labs where this kind of thing is done professionally would be a good addition to this. But this kind of professional development where it is hands-on and the training is something I can take directly back to my classroom and use, that's the best kind.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty perfect. Just that, like I said, they were really organized. We got started on time every session. All the materials were mailed to us. It was awesome. I really like that it was virtual. I think that more people can attend that way, just because it was like 4 to 6, because I wouldn't have been able to do it like driving to somewhere just because of my child's like schedule. So I think that was awesome. I love that they shipped us the materials and we got to do it along with them, and it wasn't just us watching. And the activities they chose were really great activities that spanned multiple content. So it wasn't just teaching physical science. I'm sure Britain probably has the same problem. Is a lot of training that I go to is focused more on like biology or chemistry, and it doesn't apply as much. Like maybe one thing I'll take away, or it's really hard to get things that apply to my class. And this one, almost everything I could use in some way, so it was very helpful for me.
My favorite, I think, or I guess what my dream kind of workshops would be, or training, is just having make and take type of things where, you know, we do the hands-on things, but then we also have a small amount prepped that we can immediately, even the next day, put into use in our classroom. So I like those type of trainings.
Going off of what Christina said, I like that it was actually applicable to outside curriculums other than just biology. Even if it's just one small section for each of them, there was something that could have been kind of transitioned, at least to physical science, because that's where my focus was. Like the chromatography, you can always focus on different types of solvents and why different type of solvent would work, as opposed to focusing specifically on the pigments themselves. So it was really nice to have something that was a little bit cross curriculum and kind of applied to multiple classrooms.
So Britton brought up the intersection of biotech with other disciplines, which is interesting. I was wondering if anyone else had any comments about how biotech what intersected with maybe the classes they teach, or it's anything they studied.
Well, I teach life science, which is pretty much lower level biology. And so biotech, it does go along with that. My degree's in zoology, so we used different biotech things than I guess we used in this. I think biotech instead of biology is obviously an up and coming thing that our students are getting more involved in. They have biotechnology they can take in high school as its own class. And especially with careers involving healthcare, which is a huge field, and a lot of the students are interested in that. So not just with my biology, zoology background, but going forward, I feel like with the life sciences, we can incorporate biotechnology and with a lot of the things we do.
Yeah, and I agree with both of them. With, like I said, physical science, a lot of our trainings that I go to focus a lot on biology. And this one in particular you can use it with biology or chemistry or physical science. They did a really good job pointing out how you can connect it to all the different curriculums. And the biotech part, really, I mean, the labs are the labs, but like having the speakers come in and talk about how they use that in the real world was really what connected it for me, because like I know how to do, you know, electrophoresis, but like the background of how they're going to use that in the real world, it was what was interesting to me. And that a lot of students don't realize, oh, like professional scientists are doing this every day in their labs, and I'm doing the same thing. And I think connecting that back to my class is where I'll use a lot of that information that they gave me of like, hey, like you're doing the same thing that adults are doing right now. Because students really don't think about that, like, hey, we're doing real science, not just like classroom fake science.
I agree with everything that Christina was saying. And just that I need to start implementing more of these type of things, biotechnology, as opposed to just the traditional biology type labs.
Okay, thank you guys all so much for meeting with us today and for your feedback. We really appreciate it. We hope you guys all have a good rest of your school year and a good summer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You too. And bless you, Hillary. I saw you sneeze.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Wait, why did she say bless you, Hillary?
Because I sneezed on camera.
Oh, I didn't notice. Okay.
I'm hoping no one did, but
Just a little sneeze is a treat.
a little sneeze.
All right, well, I'm glad that was over.
Yeah,
I
good
thought-
job, Katie.
All
No,
right,
you did really well. You did well.
thank you. Thank you. All right, so I'm excited for us to be done with this for the day.
I'm so sleepy. I'm gonna take a nap.
Yay, early nap.
It's late to be working. Like,
I'm about to pound some coffee. Hit the road. Hit the wide open road.
wait, are you driving home tonight?
Yeah, like right now.
Oh,
So-
bless
Dang.
Yeah, because her bridal shower is tomorrow, and I have class, as you guys know, from 8 until 3. So if I don't leave tonight, I don't get to go.
Godspeed.
Yeah,
You
good luck. Drive safe.
Thank you guys. Bye. Have a good night. See you soon.
See ya.